This is still the Polity, and we're reaching live from the Abuja studios of Chieftain TV. Now is the time for us to go more deeper into the discussion segment of the program. And joining me to do so, I have two gentlemen with me in the studio. First, by my left-hand side is an APC chieftain, Samuel Danjuma. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, my brother.
And by my right-hand side is a policy analyst, Dr. Khalifa Abbas. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you both on the program today, and we really do appreciate your time for being with us in the studio. And on that note, quite a lot has been happening in Nigeria. On that note, I want us to get started from the APC chieftain with us here in the studio, and I want us to talk about the inflation rate in Nigeria now, as it has been reported to have hit 33.20% by recent findings, despite the naira rebound. And if we take note right now, the naira rebound has been one of the things that this present administration has been putting forward as part of signs to show that the administration is really working. But Nigerians are saying, despite the naira rebound, we're still buying food items. Essential commodities are still on the high side in the market, despite the progress made as regards the naira rebound. The cost of living is still killing the living on a daily basis. Coming from an APC chieftain, what are your thoughts on this?
Once again, thank you for this opportunity this afternoon. I think I've always said Nigerians should be patient with this administration. First and first, we should all remember that lots of people bought some of these commodities when the prices and the dollar was on the high. And you don't expect them to crash their prices just because the dollar is going down. So it's a process. Let's allow the process run. As the dollar is going down, certainly the man going back to the market to buy those commodities, he will be buying it cheaper than he bought before now. So he'll be able to balance it up. I've said it from the beginning, this is a process that this government has begun. The major challenge we had was the dollar hike, and this government on a daily basis has been working tirelessly to see to it that the dollar comes down to a very reasonable exchange rate. And as we have been successful with this, every other thing will fall in line. It's a process. So Nigerians should not just, I've not seen when Nigerians are celebrating the administration for being able to bring down the dollar to where it is today. All they are interested in just looking at the slightest opportunities to come at this government. The government is doing everything possible. The government feels the pain and the pulse of the people. The government is working tirelessly to see that it gives Nigerians the best and the best of life. So certainly, in the coming days, we will see that the prices of these things will begin to go down. Now, before now,
Just before you proceed, you made a number of submissions. First is the fact that the government, this present administration, they are working tirelessly, to bring the dollar against the naira against the dollar, to bring its valuation to a reasonably fair valuation. My question now is, first of all, what is a reasonably fair valuation at this moment? And secondly, you talk about the fact that you've never seen the Nigerians celebrate, the naira gaining against the dollar. Nobody is commending this administration for bringing the dollar down from where it used to be to this point now. But as at yesterday, the dollar was selling at 1,000 naira to a dollar at the parallel market. Compared to where we are coming from, should we be celebrating 1,000 naira to a dollar in this present economy led by the All Progressives Congress, which you belong to?
Yes, we should be celebrating it. Why? Yes, we should. Because if before now, the dollar was already going to 2,000 and we had prophets of doom who never saw anything good in this. I've said it repeatedly, elections are over. This is time for governance. So we should give all the support to them. They were celebrating, some prophesied that the dollar was going to get to 5,000 to a dollar. But today, I'm sure they will be eating their words, because this administration has mount actions with words, and we are seeing that the dollar, which rose up to 2,000, is now half of what it was. So certainly we are going down. See, Nigerians expect the dollar to exchange for 1 naira to a dollar. Is not a miracle. There's a process. There's what we call, what are we actually exporting? 90% of everything we use in this part of the world are all imported. So, but what has government been able to do? Government has been able to cut down on unnecessary expenses that will put a lot of pressure on our forex, therefore making it available for what we really need. So this government is doing everything perfectly well, and it should be celebrated that as of today, this government has been able to, in the history of Nigeria, because this is the first time the dollar has risen to this height, and this government has been able to, at least for the first time, prove to Nigerians that they were ready, prepared from the day one to hit the ground running, and they are doing it every instant and every opportunity they have to see to it that the dollar is going down, and to get to a point where everybody will be okay and be fine with it. All right, now
let me hold you on for a second. Dr. Khalifa Abbas, with the inflation rate hitting 33.20%, and the federal government are saying, that they have made a remarkable progress in terms of the naira rebound against the dollar. But Nigerians are still saying that you have made progress, but we can barely feed. Yes, the Nigerians are saying the naira has rebound to about half of what it used to be at the beginning of the year right now. But then the prices of commodity at the beginning of the year are still the same. Some have even, some of the prices have even added. And someone here is saying that Nigerians should celebrate. Should Nigerians celebrate?
The conversation is a two-sided coin. When you look at it at single point of view, the government is doing a lot in terms of making sure the dollar is coming down, which is the dollar, right? And like you said, some people bought their commodity before the exchange.
Before the exchange rate.
So now they expect them to sell their items based on how much the naira is coming down now. So you can give a reasonable aspect of that. But coming to the whole conversation of the dollar issue, how much was the dollar when the government came in?
About 700 naira or so.
And how much is the dollar now?
1,000 is selling for 1,000 naira.
So we'll start celebrating when we get below what they met it. I get in the point. Every government faces challenges. I am not. I'm a Nigerian. I don't represent any party. I represent myself and people I know within me that complains based on how they get to live. So my complaint is towards how we can live a better life. I am not a fan of I'm not a fan of supporting or being against the government based on my own personal reasons. No, I go for what is there on the paper. So if Nigerians are enjoying now, we all know we all live in Nigeria. So we're all seeing what is happening now. But as a Nigerian, that hope for Nigeria to better. I'm hoping for this government to do a lot better than they are doing now, to make sure that people are actually celebrating them instead of complaining about them.
All right, now I still want you to react to some of the submissions of Samuel Danjuma, where he said that Nigerians should appreciate the efforts of the federal government. What Nigerians are asking. What exactly should we be appreciating? What exactly should we be celebrating? Should we be celebrating? Because if we begin to itemize these issues right now, we can talk about the epileptic power supply, which we are still going to go into much deeper right now. We can talk about the cost of transportation right now. We can talk about the general cost of living. And your colleague here has said that Nigerians should appreciate the administration, the APC administration led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What are your thoughts on this?
You know, we all live in Nigeria, but we live different lifestyles. Some people may have opportunities, some people may not. So those that are going to celebrate are those that actually have opportunities to enjoy the life they're living now. And those that are complaining are people that are actually not enjoying or not appreciating what is being done, because based on their own capacity of living in the country. So it depends on where you're coming from. Like I said,
let me just hold you on for a minute. So what you're saying in essence now is that those who are getting a piece of the national cake are celebrating, and by that analogy, are you saying that Comrade Samuel Danjuma here is actually ambassador? Are you saying now that Ambassador Samuel Danjuma here now is speaking in the manner that he's speaking right now, because he is having, because he's having access to the to a piece of the cake?
Not in your words, but like you see him, he's living good. Okay. So I believe that he's doing okay. But what I'm trying to make the point is, as a country that we're living, this government came in and met some issues on ground, and I don't know what was presented to them when they actually get here. So I don't want to sit down here and conclude that it should be at this stage in our actually space to make sure that we are doing better. I believe every person that said he wants to actually come to Nigeria and lead as a president should understand that there's a lot of things to come and actually meet, and he has to be ready for whatever he sees to actually to begin with. But the issue we're having now, you talk about power supply, you talk about fuel subsidy, you talk about a lot of things that so many things were raised just from the beginning of this government. So Nigerians were expecting that maybe the government has a plan for them to actually enjoy that benefit of the fuel subsidy, of this NEPA increasement. So if you're saying I'm going to increase fuel subsidy, remove fuel subsidy and increase NEPA bill for us to be having a lot of income as a government, to do what? For the citizens to benefit. Then after doing whatever you're doing in terms of adding those things, then we should start seeing the results. But if by increasing fuel and increasing lights, and still we are living the same way we are living, I was complaining to a friend, I was like, things are getting higher, salaries are still the same, income are still the same. We businessmen are actually not getting more than we're getting before. We're even getting less now, because you deal with dollar, you deal with transportation, you deal with lighting,
security also.
That is another topic. But if you start this topic, I don't think we can finish this conversation today. So I think there is a lot to face for us to celebrate in that aspect.
All right, now before we leave this very topic, Ambassador Samuel, are you sounding the way you're sounding now? Because when in Nigeria, when we put into consideration the Nigerian factor, when you have access to to the center, you don't seem to see anything wrong with whatever it is that is coming from the center. And secondly, I want to take you back to your initial submission that when you go to the market and you buy goods at a particular price, and when the dollar, when the naira gains against the dollar, you are not expected to sell below your cost, your initial cost price. I want to ask now, can you actually cast our minds back to a point whereby the naira gained against the dollar, and the prices, it's reflected directly on the prices of commodities in Nigeria? I'm asking you this because of the point where you are coming from, because you are an APC chieftain, and you and your party are at the center at the moment.
First thing first, let me correct a notion. I stand to be corrected. There's nobody under heaven within the party that will say he has given me a dime. I'm also a businessman like my brother, so we work for our money. Now, coming back to when has it ever reflected? Automatically reflect. If I go to the market today and I buy a commodity, for instance, for 10,000 naira, then I use 2,000 naira to transport it to my shop, and I go to the market a month after, and I buy that same commodity for 5,000 naira, and I transport it to my shop with 500 naira, I won't sell it at 15,000.
Okay.
So automatically, because if I decide to, he has a shop selling the same thing I'm selling, the same quality and quantity, and decides to say, okay, we bought it from the same place at 5,000 naira, and decides to sell it at 6,500. If I remain where I am, people won't come to my shop. The goods will remain with me. So they will patronize. So automatically, it will force me to bring down the price. Okay. See, Nigerians should be patient with this administration. Some people might not like this submission of mine, but I would have appreciated if in 2014, when the APC administration was coming, if it was the present president who was in charge as the president, then Nigeria would have been better off than it is today. And why did I say this? Okay. We all remember Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala saying it under the administration of the PDP then, that whoever will take over from the PDP administration has to be somebody who is prepared, who is schooled, who knows what he's going to do from the day one in office, who is an economist, somebody who understands the economy. Okay. The president is someone who understands the economy. He is a private business person. He has been in government. He understands. He can bring both knowledge together, and we can see it working for us. Now, if he had been president then and served for 8 years, then we bring our father, Baba Megeskia, to come as president now, to be able now to protect what this president has been able to do. It should have been better for us, because he came to fight corruption, not even facing the economy first. And what we really needed was, let us have a viable economy, then we can now fight corruption. So I put it to you that in the coming days, by the end of this year, Nigerians, I will remind you, Nigerians will praise this government at high heavens, because by then everything would have stabilized. Now the dust that rose at the end, at the beginning, and let me not forget what my brother said, that we met the president's administration met the dollar at 700. But we should also not forget that the previous administration of the APC also was subsidizing the dollar with 1.5 billion every month. Okay. So now a man who understands the system. I'm very happy. I think some of my submission, I think it gets to the authority, because I remember seeing it on the national TV that it's only in Nigeria whereby you see our foreign exchange rates being determined by illiterates on the street. Go to Zone 4 today, you can't find them there any longer, like they used to be there. So, and we're already seeing the result. Dollar is crashing on a daily basis, and I put it to Nigerians that Nigeria is going to be better and better for it by the end of this administration.
All right, then you spoke so much about subsidy, and I want us to take it up from there. The former Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasir Rufai, who has been in the news for for so many reasons, lately talking about his feud with the present Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani, and most recently he has stated that the federal government are now paying fuel subsidy. Again, and in one of his statements he said Nigeria, the federal government is paying even more than what they used to back then. What are your thoughts on this? Malam Nasir Rufai is an APC chieftain. He's a bigwig in the APC chieftain, if you know what I'm talking about. But he has also been in the news for so many reasons. For a while now. For a while now. So what are your thoughts on this? One of the bedrocks upon which every administrations are supposed to be built upon is trust between the administration and the people. When the people cannot vouch for their leaders, then it becomes very difficult to govern the to govern the state. In a situation where the government makes the people to believe that subsidy is gone, and one of their very own is coming back to say that subsidy is not gone. You are paying the subsidy. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, for anyone who knows Malam Nasir Rufai, he knows him as a very what do you call it? How can I put it? Like a very outspoken person, and true to his words, if that's to believe for some people. And by the way, he's actually my ex-governor, which he's somebody who I hold very dearly when it comes to implementations of things,
of policies,
policies, and no matter the cost. And so I saw what he said, and the issue here is, and he gave an instance whereby when you check the diesel and the fuel, and how is it diesel above 1,000 and fuel just 600, based on his own ideas of why he thinks the subsidy is still alive. Because the thing is, if you say subsidy is still alive, how? Is there not a budget of it being paid, or is there not a policy of that, what do you call it, where the money is coming from and where the money is going to, a subsidy? Because if you say we're paying something that we don't know, so where are we getting the money from? Or is that why we're not seeing the work that we expect this government to do? Maybe because something about life is, if one of the family member comes out to speak about the family, if maybe the whole thing is not the truth, some part of the conversation should be the truth. So I think it's something that we have to ask the government to clarify based on that capacity, because we know him to be one of the strong proponents of that government. So if he says something, it's something that we should look into, even though he doesn't have power within this government at now, but we believe him to be a strong person of the party, because he's actually one of the people that supported Tinubu to be this president. That presidency should move to the south during that issues of presidency. So I believe it's something that we should be looked into, and to be ready for whatever the outcome is going to be. And they said they're going to bring back the subsidy. Does that mean the subsidy is already back, or are we expecting more? Because the fuel is so expensive to people like us in the street trying to make a living. So I believe if there is anything this government can do, that is where we should start appreciating and celebrating them.
All right. What are your thoughts on this? The federal government says subsidy is gone. These were the exact words of Mr. President on his inaugural speech. What are your thoughts on this, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, who was at the forefront during the fight for the shift of power to the southern part of Nigeria? It's coming out to say that fuel subsidy is back. What are your thoughts on this?
With all fairness to his person, he's a leader of the party, he's someone we respect, he's someone we hold with high esteem. But there's something that one Nigerian has to remember about the person Malam El-Rufai is. He's someone that is not comfortable to be out of the corridors of power. He always wants to see himself in the corridor of power. And what he expected, we all knew before even the election, he wasn't really supporting the president. But later he saw that this is where he was going, so he had no choice than to align with the process, and eventually the presidency went.
But then, if you say he was not really in support of the president, he was one of the loudest voices from the northern part of Nigeria.
Did we also remember that the same person said it 2 years to the election, when it was speculated that he was going to be the running mate to the president? He said he was not going to be a running mate to a criminal. It is on the daily papers. But later had to pull it back. So now, I saw that online. I wrote a comment and I said, enough of you coming up to deceive Nigerians like you did in 2012 when the same subsidy was removed. If he really says subsidy has been reintroduced and with Nigerian government is paying higher, he should come with proofs. Enough of all. See, politics, elections are over. This is time for governance. This is not time for people to start buying cheap publicity for 2027 elections. No, this is time for us to come together as a father. There are some things fathers don't say in public, because when you say it, you're going to bring panic, you're going to bring fear to the minds of your children. If truly you say subsidy is back, so how much will you, now let's even agree that subsidy is back. So that means if subsidy was not there, that means we would have been buying fuel at 1,000 or 1,005 per litre. Is that what he's saying? Enough of this. Like I said, he's a respected member of the family. He's a father.
So now diesel at 1,000. So yes, it's actually possible.
No, diesel we all know that before now diesel has always been, even when we're buying fuel at 190, when we're buying fuel at 80, diesel has always been higher because the subsidy for diesel was removed even in the PDP administration.
Okay.
So there's no subsidy on diesel. So if there have never been subsidy on diesel since the time of the PDP administration, so you don't expect diesel has never been sold lower than the price.
So now there is no subsidy on fuel.
There is no subsidy on fuel.
Yes.
See, one thing I give to Mr. President is he's a man who says it and stands by it and see it through. There's no introduction of subsidy. If our leader, Malam El-Rufai, has any proof to that, he should bring it to public glade.
But just a second. I want to get your thoughts on his
what I'm trying to say,
because part of the things he said was the fact that Malam Nasir El-Rufai is a father in the APC. However, he is not usually comfortable when he is outside the corridors of power. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, for any active leader, there's use in leading people, and that thinks he can do a lot to help the nation, will want to have a position to participate and help his country. So for him to have that kind of aim of being part of this government, maybe that, as he is saying, is actually not a fault to me, the way I see it. But I don't think that is the case.
Okay.
I don't think that is the case.
So what do you think?
I believe we have a government, we have a system. If I come out to say something that is not there, then I should be questioned and be asked, because I'm leading some people to the wrongdoings. I'm like he said, he's a father. When he says something, it's impacting a lot of people. So why the government allow him to speak on such issues if there is nothing like that on the table? They can invite him and ask him, okay, why are you sharing bad information to our people? Because he is carrying them due to what we are planning. We are government. And again, like you said before, we know him on TV. They know him personally. But don't you think that they can have this much of a conversation of where does he get all these things from if he's not actually saying the truth? Why are they keeping quiet? Why are they not saying anything?
So you think something is you smell? I'm just a second. You smell a rat here. Considering the perceived quietness of his fellow APC stalwarts who are in
surely
the
if
right now. So you think something is quite fishy, and that's the reason why they've acted like nothing is actually happening.
See, for people of such caliber to come out and say there is something should be there. Okay. What I cannot sit down here and claim is I don't know how perfect the conversation is.
The accuracy.
So yeah, thank you. So we have to understand.
I need to come in here a little.
Okay.
Now, when you say that there's something. Maybe there's something fishy, that's why the party is not responding or nobody is saying anything. The same El-Rufai came out this morning to say that this administration should now sack members of the administration that are not active, that are not active in this government. So I just said something to you that this man is not comfortable being outside the corridor of power. We knew what he did after the administration in 2007, when the Yar'Adua administration did not give him any position. We saw how he went out castigating the government, which he was part of. He's known to. So you don't expect the government to respond to every accusation that comes from even within the party and outside the party. I know this government certainly will respond, and they will respond to El-Rufai with facts. Because this government, what we do is, when former Vice President Atiku Abubakar accused this government of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Rail, you saw this government came out with figures.
Ambassador Samuel will still come back to the various issues you are raising, and we'll be discussing the controversy in Kano as regards the immediate past governor Umar Ganduje, but all this will be after we return from a very short break. Don't go anywhere. The Polity will be back. After TV. Right now, we are going to be bringing our lights now to APC in Kano. There's been a whole lot of happenings in APC Kano State. just last week, the for immediate past governor Umar Ganduje, his son, and some other persons who were mentioned were said to be arraigned before a Kano State High Court over misappropriation of funds of Kano State funds while he was the governor of the state. What are your thoughts on this? And most recently, it has emerged. News has emerged that APC, his ward in Kano State, suspended him. You know, the state ward suspended the national chairman of the party. What are your thoughts on this?
One thing about I want to start with the allegations of his child and about the issue of the money. One thing with Nigeria, almost every single politician and his family have been either invited or been questioned about misappropriation of funds or corruption. So you can only prove that when found guilty. So I hardly speaks about things like this when I'm not sure of what is actually going to happen. I think we should actually wait for the result and see whether they are guilty or not before we can get to have something to say about them. But about his own party issue, when it comes to them saying that suspend him, I don't think they have the power to do so, because I think we've seen what happened during Oshumole's case, almost the same issue. On this issue, I don't think they have the power to, as a local government, to actually make him or ask him to step down or suspend him,
lose his seat
as being the national
chairman of
the party. So I don't think they have sort of, and I think they were dealt with, because I believe they are either suspended or I think I saw something like that.
Okay. Ambassador, what are your thoughts on the present controversy in Kano State over Umar Ganduje's suspension?
Like Doctor just said, after the Oshomole scenario, the constitution of the party was amended, making it impossible for your word to remove national schools of the party. Even the issue of Labour Party chairman who was suspended from his word, I think the matter was brought up in court and it was ruled in favor of the chairman, Abure, that the word has no power to suspend or remove the person of the national chairman of the party. So I think it boils back to, I don't know people who are advising the present governor of Kano State, politics is not war.
But the present governor of Kano State is not a member of the APC.
Yes, I'm driving somewhere.
Okay.
You don't need to be a member of a party for you to cause havoc within the system. That's politics for you. We are politicians. We understand. So by
this, just a minute. So by this your submission now, it's safe for us to believe the rumors on ground that the president is behind the the unsettled atmosphere in the PDP.
No. I'm just taking you by your word. You won't put words in my mouth. I am here.
And I'm asking you the
question about Kano.
Okay.
Right? And I want to answer about Kano.
Okay.
When you come about the PDP at the national level, the answers for that is there. Now, what am I saying about the governor? Why did I say the governor immediately came into power? We saw the level of rascality, and he started demolishing people's properties and the rest of them just to get back at the person of the former governor because of the full between him and his principal, the Kwankwaso. Now, it's high time we stop this. Elections are over. You are now the governor. You don't go about with something like what Doctor said. Every administration, somebody said something that if Abacha was alive, all this persecution about Abacha, Lut, and the rest of them would have not heard about it. Why are we always witch hunting the next person the minute we get into government, instead of working for the people and let people even see why we should think you are better than who you took over from? At the end of the day, you see them fighting these how would I put it now? At the end of their tenure, there's nothing to show for it. Now you know that there is a hand behind that is playing the drum. So it's I'm happy, like he said, the state executive of the party has come up to not suspend, has come up to remove those party escorts who sat and did that and did whatever they did. So certainly it's not standing, it won't stand, and it cannot stand the test of time. Then coming to the PDP issue you're talking about, Mr. President is so busy and so concerned with delivering on his promises, delivering on the renewed hope mandate, that he has no business in interfering in PDP problem. The problem within PDP started even before he became president. There have been trouble between their party from 2015. There has been trouble between them and their governors. There's been trouble between them and their national working committee.
Okay.
The president has no hand in it.
All right, then.
Sorry, I want to say something about the Kano issue.
Okay.
When he speaks about what the governor is doing now by demolishing a lot of houses and centers for other people, just to get back to the government or just to get back to Ganduje, the same thing Ganduje did. Not as demolition, not as demolition houses or whatever. In his own ways of doing what he did, just to get back to Congress. So it's politics, like he said. So people do what they think is right for them to do, and anybody coming to power now comes with a lot of things in his heart. So when he comes, you start seeing it. But still, like I told you, I am not somebody who enjoy against a government or against the benefit of what we can reap. So I will advise all these politicians, when you come into power, come as the leader. Lead the people that choose you, that voted for you, to be there. Make sure you stand there to make sure you do what they expect you to do. Because I am not a member of that party, the Concourse party, NNPP. But I love Concourse in his own ways of doing whatever he's doing there. But I never supported this kind of government for that demolition. I think there was a lot of things that they could actually do with the property. Even if they are actually going to collect it from the owners, they can actually do something better off than demolition all this kind of investment in terms of what people are enjoying to be a development of their states, by demolition it back to stage 1, and you only have 4 years, no guarantee of after 4 years whether they're actually going to be voted again. So I believe we can all actually get to do better if given the opportunity. All right, then
very quickly, because our time is our producers are already signaling us. Now let's discuss the one thing that has become a recurrent decimal, that is a unifying factor among Nigerians right now, is the fact that barely 1% of Nigerians are enjoying steady power supply. And in the midst of this, the Ministry of Power are saying that we are planning to remove the subsidy on the prices of electricity, thereby causing an increase in the tariff. What are your thoughts on this? And when Nigerians came out to speak, the Minister of Power came out to say, "Oh, we are not increasing the electricity tariff for everybody. We are just increasing it for the people in Band A who are enjoying about 20 hours of power electricity supply every day." And Nigerians are asking, where in Nigeria are there places in Nigeria where people are actually enjoying 20 hours of power supply, who have been enjoying 20 hours of power supply for the past 6 months?
Well, when it's come to power supply in Nigeria, you have to widen the conversation, because we are all born into this system. Now we had no permanent or suitable electricity, which is I think why we are here as a country, because I think we can develop more in a lot of things, because if you go outside this country, you see a lot of things happening. Not outside Africa, within African countries that have full power supply, there is a lot to do with full power supply, but can we actually get to have that? That's an issue. Every single government that came before now came with the promising of what? I'm going to give you power, 24 hours power supply. And so now we have already graduated from that kind of promises, and I believe this government are saying something new. And is a new system of these band A and band B issues, where people have more light than the other. And I believe that I cannot sit here and tell you that there are people that are having 20 hours of power supply, but I believe in some places they have more than other places. So to share it into band A and band B to whatever band they have, I think it's actually promising. If they will give you the light, if you're actually going to get the power supply, you have no issue of actually paying higher price, because we're all paying higher prices for what we're doing. If you're using a bigger car, you pay higher price for the fuel. Definitely. I get in the point. So I believe it's something that can actually be dealt with if look into. And again, coming back to this government in some aspects, like I told you, they are trying their best to do some other things.
Okay.
But if you look at the policy, the whole policy of this country, we have subsidy in almost every single thing. You have subsidy in power, you have subsidy in fuel, you have subsidy in this. So all the money we're making is going back to subsidy. We're not actually delivering anything in this country.
Okay.
So that is my own issue. But the issue is we are all brought up like this. We all came and made the nation like this, with this system. So that's why once you touch one subsidy, we were all crying because we cannot survive it.
Okay.
Before now, I was having this idea of I came here. I think during this new administration. I think we talked about what do you call this? We talked about subsidy removal, and I was actually supportive of subsidy removal before I could get to understand it more. Now that I'm living in it, because before we get to believe that all the subsidy we're putting within some African countries where you get fuel from Nigeria and take it to other places that are more expensive, and that's why it's causing the issue of that particular issue of the subsidy. So now, after the subsidy being removed, we get to understand we were all enjoying the subsidy we're having in fuel. That's why we're living that what do you call it, comfortable life, as you can say. We were complaining before, but now we're complaining more. So imagine if this gets more bigger or more higher. I don't know where we're actually getting to.
Okay then, Ambassador, what are your thoughts on this before we discuss the recent happenings in
in Nigeria?
Very quickly,
we rush to react instead of us understanding why government needs to do what they need to do. Now, how do we survive whereby 10% of our total national budget is going to be spent on electricity subsidy? Now, you know why the issue of power is still the way it is. That if I'm generating power, for instance, and I'm to sell it to doctor, and I'll sell it through you to doctor, and before doctor even gets power, you have paid me 60% of what I used to generate that power. You think I'm going to be serious? I'll be serious about making sure that the network for the power getting to doctor is properly put in place. Now, whereby I now know that for me to be able to survive as a businessman, because our power generation is now completely privatized, for me to be able to survive as a businessman in the field is whereby I know that when I generate power, the power gets to doctor for me to get that money. There's no more any kickback that gets to me even before doctor gets power. Then I'm going to sit up. So this government, I've said it repeatedly, let's give this government the evidence of doubt. Most of these things are for our own good, because if we decide to pay 10% of our national budget just for power subsidy alone, whereby even some people get estimated bills, whereby you don't even see like for 2-3 months, 5-4 months, you are still billed, and the government will still pay you, pay the discos and the gencos. No, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't.
All right then.
Subsidy, pulling out subsidy for power is the best way to go. That will make those who generate power sit up, and there will be light for Nigerians to use.
All right then. In the next 12 months, I'll be hoping to have you back on the program so that we can, take you by your word.
I'm always ready.
To your word. And as we'll be rounding up the show today, quite a lot has been happening in Kogi State, and most recently, Nigerians have been asking where is the immediate past governor of the state, from wanting to know his precise location to the news of him being wanted, being on the wanted list of the EFCC over alleged misappropriation of the state's funds to the tune of about 84 to 85 billion naira thereabout. And all of a sudden, pictures surfaced on the internet of his visit to the president in the president's home state, Lagos, to felicitate with the president himself alongside the incumbent governor Usman Odudu. What are your thoughts on this? First of all, when this picture surfaced on the internet, it got Nigerians reacting, and I want to play you some of the reactions of Nigerians. Okay. Here is saying, please don't let this stop you. He tagged the EFCC and he said, please don't let this stop you from doing your job. Welcome back, Pablo. Let's take a look at the second tweet. Next. Okay, and then Bamishaye is saying the Jagaban of Africa with the Jagaban of Kogi State. God bless Yahaya Adoza Bello for us. Let's take a look at the next. And Oluwafemi is saying you will only run at official EFCC. Once we join APC, our sins will be forgiven. And let's take a look at the last one. Kogi is the only state with 2 governors. Jagaban of crime has caused huge wahala. Okay, Ambassador Samuel, quite a lot has been said. A lot of people, are saying that God bless Yahaya Adoza Bello. A lot of people are calling on the EFCC to, do their statutory duty that the Constitution of Nigeria has mandated in their custody. What are your thoughts on this? Nigerians where before now Nigerians were asking, where is the governor? Where is the governor? The EFCC have invited the former governor, and all of a sudden we are seeing the former governor in the president, taking pictures with the president in his home state. That's one. And secondly, Nigerians are saying the former governor should be honorable enough to, honor the invitation of the EFCC. And they are also saying that Kogi is Kogi is being led by 2 governors. One is the sitting governor, and the other is the de facto governor. What are your thoughts on this? I'm
happy that right in this studio, I named the former governor the Jagaban of North Central, and I'm happy it's beginning to go around that the Jagaban of Africa had this protogen, the Jagaban of North Central, in the person of former governor Yaya Bello. See, it's high time we know how to play this game called politics in this part of the world. This man served the good people of Kogi State. I just came back from Kogi yesterday. I was at the Central Senatorial District, and I saw beautiful and laudable projects that this man should be celebrated for. As a governor who served for 8 years, and after his tenure, is normal, because he's one governor that never went on foreign vacation all through his 8 years as governor. It's normal for him to retire home and rest with his family, see what has been happening in his absence, get to reunite with his wife and his children, and provide that necessary fatherly love that he has been sharing with the whole people of Kogi State, because as a governor you are busy, you won't have enough time for your family. So the governor has not been on the run. And for those calling out, see, the opposition in Kogi, is high time they wake up and realize that the elections are over and it's time for governance. The governor has not been running. The governor, I'm very happy they all saw him with the president, where he went to see his father and to greet him and tell him, this is me, Berika de Salah, thank God we're done with the fasting. Kogi is fine. The president there is doing excellently well. The governor of Kogi, presently as we speak, is no other person than Governor Ahmed Usman Odudu. Is in charge, fully in charge. There is nowhere whereby we have 2 governors in Kogi. Opposition should go and sleep and rest and see what they can do for themselves. If they have nothing doing, they should join hands with us, if truly what they want is the betterment of the people of Kogi State. The governor, former governor, is not on the run, is there, and the state has come out to say, you said somebody came to my house to steal. And I'm the owner of my house, and I've come out to tell you that nothing is missing. So what are we talking about? The state government has come out to say none of these accusations are true. Nothing, our money is not lost, it's not missing. We can see projects where this money were actually invested in. So it's high time opposition stop this thing, because these same people who are accusing this governor today were all members of the governor's team while he was governor. But then because of politics, now Nigerians are saying, because this is what the opposition is saying in public. No, the opposition are still Nigerians. That's remember that before they became opposition, they are Nigerians. And they were members of the party. Before they became members of the party who worked within the party, they are Nigerians first. Exactly. So now they are saying, I'm talking now, Nigerians are saying now that there is an invitation from the EFCC. Be honorable and honor the invitation. Now, what are your thoughts? Now, there's an invitation from the EFCC. I will honor an invitation from the EFCC if I am sure that what I'm being accused of is not, I'm not being witch hunted. And now, do you want to tell us now that the EFCC doesn't know their jobs? They do. If they want to get to Yaya Bello, he's not a hidden person, he's a public figure. They know how to go about it. The EFCC itself are also treating petitions that were brought to them. They are also weighing it to be sure. So they don't, you see, I think the EFCC under the present EFCC chairman has is doing a very beautiful job compared to previous AFCC chairman, whereby they do more of social media trials, media prosecutions, whereby when they get to court they end up losing out. This chairman is now doing a proper work.
I need to for a second now. Nigerians are saying that the former governor of Kogi State, the EFCC has invited you for some months now. In fact, there has been protests calling on the EFCC to look into the financial books of Kogi State under the previous administration, which is not out of the rights of the public to demand accountability from their government of their states. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm not from Kogi State, so
but you are Nigerian.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to make a point. I'm not from Kogi State, so I visit Kogi once in a while.
Okay.
So I did not actually see the project my brother here is saying that has been actually going on, because sometimes I used to actually visit Kogi last year before the election. So I don't think I am impressed by him as a governor. Okay. He was very public. He was very busy trying to become the president. I get in, during that time of election, and he's popular in his own ways, but not popular in terms of making implementation and doing a lot of things on his state. We're not seeing a lot of achievements by him being made. So if FCCA is inviting him to come, for me, if there is nothing to hide, you should actually honor the invitation and go. And again, back to the FCC, when you invite someone, if you get an invite to someone and he's not there, what are the measures to take? I get to the point. So if you get to somebody, you think you have a recap of what you're thinking, but what he's saying, because if they are sure of the invitation, I'm sure they should issue an arrest. But if they're not sure of the invitation, they're just inviting you to hear what you have to say, or they're just actually getting their papers ready. Let's say that maybe they're getting their papers ready before they can actually go ahead. And again, if the state says there is nothing missing, how then did the FCC know that something is missing? Okay. How can a governor be reported to the FCC if not by the present administration? Okay. How do you know that the money is missing if I'm not saying that there is money missing in this actually state, that I'm actually the governor of the state? How can somebody come to you and tell you that something is missing and you go ahead and actually invite someone? I think they should investigate. Okay. When found guilty of whatever, then I think they should go ahead and do whatever necessary to. I want
to react to what you said last
week. So the both of you will be having just 90 seconds each to wrap up your submissions.
I'm from Kogi State. Yes. The projects are there. If you are a chance, I will take you there. We have the Reference Hospital in Okene. We have the roads in Okene properly done. We have the roads from Ida to Ayamba was done under his administration. There are lots of projects. So I will take it upon myself. I will take you to Kogi. I'm from Kogi. I know what Kogi was before he was governor. I know what Kogi was after his 8 years of being governor. He did excellently well. He did perfectly well. And the only thing that happened was that there were no people who spoke about him. Now back to the national scene. I want Nigerians to be patient with this administration. This administration means well for Nigeria. This administration came into government just to give back to the people. The president is ready and is willing, and in the coming days, Nigeria and Nigerians will appreciate that we have a person in the person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And Kogi also, in the issue of Kogi, we have a beautiful governor who is doing excellently well and who has paid the highest when it comes to remuneration since the time of the PDP, and he's doing perfectly well. Kogi will sure be better for you. So Nigerians, celebrate.
Thank you very much for your submission. On the final note, what will be your parting shot?
Well, I will surely visit to be sure of what I'm saying here. Okay. I will surely go to Kogi and see what he has done. And I will only advise Nigerians to be patient in life. Okay. We're patient with APC for 8 years before now. And for me, I wasn't really happy with that.
Still be patient for another 8 years.
No, Francis, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, this is the new government. It's the same APC, but different people representing the APC. So let's give them a chance and see what they can do, and let's hope. The reason why I always give support of this kind of organization or government is because I hope to have a better nation. I hope to live in a peaceful nation where I can be proud to say I'm a Nigerian, more prouder than I am now, because I believe we can go to a greater height than we are here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abbas Khalifa, policy analyst, and Ambassador Samuel Danjuma, APC Chieftain. We really do appreciate your time on the studio today, and we really do appreciate your very much insightful analysis. We do hope to have you on the show again sometime very soon.
Thank you for having us.
Viewers, this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of the program. Do well to join us again, same time, same station tomorrow. My name is Francis Adeniyi.